So, good day everyone. So, welcome to our Foundations of Special and Inclusive Education subject. So, congratulations everyone. So, this is the last discussion that we will have for the final examination. So, for today's discussion, we will discuss learners with difficulty with self-care. So, self-care often refers to a person's capacity to perform daily living activities or specific to body care, such as the following skills. For example, washing oneself, brushing teeth, combing, trimming nails, toileting, dressing, eating, drinking, and look after one's health. So, self-care skills are gradually learned by very young, typically developing children through adult modeling and direct instruction with developmental expectations. So, on the other hand, children with additional needs may struggle with the basic activities of daily living. Oftentimes, such students are those with moderate to severe cognitive deficits, including individuals with intellectual disability or intellectual developmental disorder, or the ID or the IDD. So, intellectual disability is a developmental disorder that includes deficits in intellectual and adaptive functioning across domains of conceptual, social, and practical that occur during the developmental period. To be diagnosed with ID or IDD, a student must have deficits in both cognitive and adaptive domains. So, children with Down syndrome with moderate to severe disability may also have problems with self-care. So, young children suspected to have cognitive deficits which manifest as difficulties with self-care can be identified at very young age. So the traditional approach to measuring levels of severity of ID was determined through the use of intellectual tests. So if your IQ level is from 50 to 70, you have mild level. 35 to 50 IQ would be moderate. Severe is 20 to 35 IQ, and profound is IQ below 20. However, based on the definition provided by the American Psychiatric Association, using measures of intelligence is only one aspect, as adaptive functioning also needs to be assessed to identify if a child has an intellectual disability. In place of IQ levels, the support needed by a person with ID is used to determine the level or degree of severity of the disability. So this presence of ID or IDD is measured by direct observation, structured interviews, and standardized scales such as AAMR or the Adaptive Behavior Scale and Vinland Adaptive Behavior Scale. So some of the domains measured by the AAMR Adaptive Behavior Scale include personal self-sufficiency, community self-sufficiency, and social adjustment. On the other hand, the Vinland Adapted Behavior Skills cover communication, daily living skills, socialization, and motor skills. So I have here a short video clip that will show you a learner with intellectual disability.
Intellectual disability or mental handicap is a neurodevelopment disorder characterized by impaired cognitive function and adaptive behavior to complex or new situations. This is Alishba, a 10-year-old girl. She was born and raised in district Sheikhupura. She was born as a normal child, but at the age of 4, he was recognized with severely brain damage, leaving her disabled for the rest of her life. Her parents were devastated and depressed because she was the first child of their family. Alishba has 2 more sisters. One of them is studying and she is younger than Alishba. She is studying in a charity school who take care of her diet as well, and due to proper diet she has been sick. needs. Her mother gave birth to 8 children, out of which only 3 kids survived. Malishba is one of them. Malnutrition can cause decrease in brain volume, number of neurons, and cells, dendrites, and reactive zones. Undernutrition can be assessed most commonly by measurements of the body weight and the body height. You can analyze this by seeing Malishba. She is 10 years old and her height is not increasing. This might be due to malnutrition. Malnutrition among adults does not cause specific neurological damage, whereas among children it does. The greatest effect of malnutrition on brain development is experienced during the time of rapid brain growth, and Elishba in her growing age does not have enough and proper diet to meet her needs, causing her brain cells damaged. This is the period during which her brain is vulnerable. She don't listen to anyone and advices. She demands money from everyone. Her parents believe that she has been possessed by an evil spirit. We have strictly forbidden her to take food from her neighbors or touch their belongings. But she doesn't obey. Sometimes she say, I want to study in a hostel. She's very fond of reading and writing. She goes to people's houses and demands food. Even if the food is cooked at a house, still she goes to people's houses.
So for learning characteristics, students who have difficulty with self-care oftentimes reach developmental milestones at later age compared to typically developing peers. They learn to sit up, crawl, walk, and talk later than other children, and may have trouble remembering and understanding consequences of actions. So due to cognitive difficulties, children with ID may also have deficits in the areas of reasoning, planning, judgment, and abstract thinking. On the other hand, depending on the level of support needed, a student with ID learns adaptive skills at a slower pace, resulting in delay compared to same-age typically developing students. They benefit from modeling and can imitate well. Moreover, adults with mild intellectual disability eventually learn to be functional and independent in society. Youths with intellectual disabilities are known to be friendly, sociable, and are reported to have positive coping skills. So, in the general educational adaptation, specific approaches have been found to be effective in teaching students with difficulty with self-care, namely the use of direct explicit instruction, task analysis, forward and backward chaining, as well as the use of video. It is essential that the instructions given are simple and straightforward, and that hands-on experiential activities are used. So for the task analysis, this is a behavioral approach that breaks down a complex behavior or task into step-by-step procedures, thereby providing modeling and ample practice for the students with difficulties. So we have here a working guidelines on how to do task analysis. So number one is you have to define the target behavior or task. Identify the required skills needed to successfully complete the task. Identify the necessary materials to perform the task and list the needed steps in sequential order to complete the task. So, in an inclusive classroom, self-care skills such as washing hands and brushing teeth can be task analyzed into the simplest steps and presented in a poster accompanied by pictures. So we have also here the direct instructions, forward chaining, and backward chaining. So in the direct instructions, the teacher models how each step is done that allows the student try the steps with guidance and prompts until he or she is able to do the task independently. The direct instruction and support from the environment in the form of prompts and as well as routines that are simplified are essential for students to eventually become independent in using self-care skills. For the forward chaining, the program begins with the first step in a sequence, such as getting the toothbrush and toothpaste, then providing the needed hand-over-hand assistance, and then gradually fading verbal then gestural prompts. So the goal is to allow the students to master the first step first and then followed by the next step in the sequence until the entire task has been performed. On the other hand, the backward chaining, the teacher models all the steps from the beginning and then allows the child to do the last step of the behavior chain with assistance and prompts. So I have here a short video clip that will show you how to do the task analysis that will show the forward chaining and the backward chaining.
Now let's look at how to perform backward chaining. The definition of backward chaining is linking together behaviors beginning with the last behavior in the chain. Let's go through the procedure with the same example of washing hands in order to see how this type of chaining differs from forward chaining. First, prompt your student to perform all the behaviors in the chain in order, except for the last behavior, and then reinforce your student's independent performance of the last behavior. Wash hands. Okay, we're going to turn water on. Get soap. Rub hands. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Rub, rub, rub. Excellent. Water off. Great job. Your hands are all clean now. Here's your fruit treat. In this example, we see the instructor prompting the student to turn on water, get soap, rub hands, rinse hands, and turn off water. The instructor stops before the last behavior, and the student must complete the last behavior of drying hands independently in order to receive reinforcement. Then, reinforce your student's independent performance of the next to last and last behaviors in order. Wash hands. You're going to turn water on. Get soap. Rub your hands. Rub, rub, rub. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Great job! You remembered all by yourself. That's excellent. Here's your free treat. Now, you see the instructor prompts the student to turn on water, get soap, rub hands, and rinse hands, but then stops so that the student must complete the last two behaviors of turning off water and drying hands in order to get the reinforcer. Then reinforce your student's independent performance of the last three steps in order and continue in this manner until your student can complete the entire chain independently following the SD. An advantage of using backward chaining is that the reinforcement always falls at the end of the chain, allowing you to use a variety of reinforcers.
So aside from task analysis, we have also the video-based intervention. So this includes video modeling and video prompting for teaching daily living skills such as brushing teeth, setting a table, washing dishes, and etc. has been found effective for learners with intellectual and learning difficulties. So with video modeling, a student watches a brief video of an able person performing a target skill or task and then imitates the behavior. In video self-modeling, the student watches a video of himself or herself performing a task. In video prompting, each step is shown in a video which the student imitates before the next step is shown. So this is helpful as the student can access the video anytime, replay it as often as needed to develop independence. So, in summary, this chapter has presented important definitions, identification and assessment, learning characteristics, and general education adaptations for learners with additional needs. So, we started discussing the gifted and talented students with difficulties, seeing, hearing, communicating, walking and moving, remembering and focusing, and then lastly, the self-care. You have learned the different disability labels that are associated with the difficulties, their challenges in learning, their strengths, and educational adaptations in the form of accommodation. While awareness and understanding of their disability and needs are essentials, as educators supportive of inclusive education, it is of utmost importance that we see learners with additional needs beyond their difficulties, to enable them to explore and use their range of strengths and abilities, as well as provide opportunities for them to succeed and flourish in their own positive niches. So, for your performance activity, answer the following questions. This consists of 40 points. Put your answer in the following comment section below by following the format. Your name, your block or your cluster, and your answer, and the deadline of submission is on December 27, 2023, 8 p.m. only. So, number one question is, what educational approaches can be used to teach learners how to take care for themselves? And second question is, choose a self-care skill and apply task analysis to help a child the skill. Identify the steps and the materials you will use. So thank you very much for listening. So if you have any questions regarding the discussion, don't hesitate to chat it in our group chat. God bless everyone.